In a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of a mid-sized American city, where lawns stayed green and porch lights came on at dusk, a single dad named Marcus walked his little girl to the corner store. She was 6 years old, full of questions and sticky fingers from the candy he sometimes let her choose. Marcus worked long hours, paid the bills, and still found time to braid her hair each morning. Most people never looked twice at the tall black man in the faded hoodie. They saw a tired father. They did not see the quiet strength he carried from years of service most of them would never understand. Before we go any further, if this kind of story touches something in you, take a second to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. It helps the channel keep sharing these moments of heart. Welcome to Whispers of Heart 0.2. Marcus never talked about the past. After his wife passed, the only mission that mattered was raising their daughter, Ava. He kept his old habits private, the early morning runs, the disciplined way he moved through a room, the calm that never quite left his eyes. He had been a Navy SEAL. The kind of training that stays in the body long after the uniform is folded away. But in this new life he chose gentleness over pride. Kindness was the one thing he still practiced every single day. One Saturday afternoon, while Ava played on the swings at the community park, a group of young adults gathered near the basketball court. Among them was a woman named Tasha. She wore her black belt like a badge of honor and spoke with the confidence of someone who had never been truly tested outside the dojo. She was sharp, quick with her words, and used to winning. When she noticed Marcus sitting on a bench, watching his daughter with quiet attention, she saw an easy target. "Hey, Dad," she called out, loud enough for her friends to hear. "You look strong enough. How about a little sparring match? Winner takes $50. Easy money for somebody like me." Her friends laughed. Marcus looked up, calm. He saw the challenge for what it was, an attempt to put someone down for sport. He could have walked away. Most people would have. But Ava was watching from the swings, and something in him decided that walking away was not the only kind of strength. He stood slowly. "I don't fight for money," he said. His voice was even, almost soft. "But if you need to test something, I'll stand here. No hitting the face. And when it's done, we shake hands." Tasha smirked. She stepped onto the open grass, bouncing on her toes, already picturing the easy win. She moved first, fast, sharp, full of the confidence that comes from years of controlled sparring. Marcus shifted only enough to let her strikes pass. He did not strike back. He simply redirected, stayed balanced, and never raised his voice. Each time she came in harder, he met her with the same quiet control. After a few minutes she was breathing harder, frustrated that nothing seemed to land the way it should. "You're just lucky," she snapped. "Stand still and fight like a man." Marcus shook his head once. "I already am." He could have ended it in seconds. The training was still there, precise and absolute. Instead he chose restraint. When she finally overextended, he caught her wrist gently, guided her off balance, and set her down on the grass without force. He offered his hand to help her up. She slapped it away at first, face burning with embarrassment. Then she saw Ava standing a few feet away, eyes wide, holding a half-eaten ice cream cone. The little girl looked worried. Marcus knelt beside his daughter. "It's okay, baby. We're just talking." Something in that small moment cracked the arrogance Tasha had carried into the park. She had expected a fight. She had not expected a father who refused to humiliate her in front of his child. She had not expected kindness offered without demand. Later that evening, after the crowd had scattered, Tasha found Marcus still at the park, packing up Ava's backpack. She approached more carefully this time. "I was out of line," she said. The words came out rough, like they cost her something. "I thought you were just another guy who would either back down or try to prove something. I didn't know." Marcus looked at her for a long second. "You don't need to know everything about a person to treat them with respect. That's the part most people forget." He told her, briefly, that he had served. He did not boast. He simply said the years in the teens had taught him that real strength is knowing when not to use it. Then he asked about her. She talked about the long hours at the dojo, the pressure to stay undefeated, the way winning had started to feel like the only way people saw her. Marcus listened the way few people ever had, without interrupting, without judgment. Before they parted, he offered her something small. "Next time you feel like proving a point," he said, "try helping somebody instead. It stays with you longer than any win." Tasha left the park that night different than she arrived. The $50 stayed in her pocket. The easy money she had chased never mattered. What stayed was the memory of a man who could have embarrassed her and chose not to. A single father who carried heavy history yet still made room for gentleness. Weeks later, Tasha returned to the same park. This time she brought water bottles and sat with a group of younger kids who were learning basic self-defense. She taught them the moves, yes, but she also taught them something else: how to stop when the other person has had enough, how to offer a hand up, how to walk away without needing the last word. She never mentioned Marcus by name. She did not need to. The lesson had already taken root. Marcus kept living his quiet life. He still walked Ava to the store. He still braided her hair. On some evenings he would catch himself smiling at the memory of that Saturday, not because he had won anything, but because kindness had done what force never could. It had softened the hard edge and left both people better than before. In a country that often measures strength by volume and victory, stories like this matter. They remind us that the people we underestimate, the quiet single parent, the veteran who no longer wears the uniform, the stranger on the park bench, may carry depths we cannot see. And the greatest power any of us holds is the choice to meet arrogance with patience, challenge with restraint, and judgment with simple human kindness. That choice does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like refusing to strike back. Sometimes it looks like helping someone stand up after they fall. Sometimes it looks like a father protecting the soft heart of his child by showing the world what real strength actually is. If this story stayed with you even a little, carry it into your own day. Offer the hand. Listen longer than you speak. Choose the kinder path when the harder one would be easier. The world does not change all at once. It changes one quiet decision at a time. And those decisions, more often than we realize, begin with people who look ordinary until the moment they prove they are anything but.